One of the most amazing things about farming is some of the flowers that you see. This just looks like a beautiful ornamental flower, and if you got a bouquet of them, you wouldn't be unhappy about it. So I'm gonna play, guess what this is? 3, 2, 1. Our friend okra. Farming has some of the most beautiful blossoms in the world. People don't think about plants that we eat also being just absolutely lovely. That looks like an ornamental, decorative, something you would go to a florist and buy. Why is an okra plant this pretty?
Well, we think they're pretty, but the insects do too.
Okay.
So actually, this little fuchsia magenta colored spot in
the
there,
center.
what we don't see that the insects see is that ultraviolet compact portion in the bottom. That's like a beacon of light to a honeybee or to a bumblebee or a pollinator.
It says something good is here for me.
They say, hey, this is ground zero. This is where you need to be. And so they hone in on that. They go down there, and just by them moving around, gathering nectar, they're picking up pollen.
Right.
And then they'll move to another flower, same thing. And so they cross-pollinate, but they also pollinate the flower itself. And every one of those seed pods, or every okra pod
seed in the okra
has a seed that has to be pollinated.
Right.
So you need 2 grains of pollen per seed.
Or it's not gonna make a pod.
Or it won't make a full, mature,
Right.
or a flavorful pod. People don't realize that also, that
I didn't realize that.
if it's not fully pollinated, you're gonna lack sugar and flavor and other characteristics.
No, I did. That's news to me.
Yeah.
So now it's a very familiar looking blossom, and it reminds me of something very familiar. Is this kin to any other
Hibiscus?
Hibiscus.
So, yep, this okra is in the mallow family. Cotton, same kind of looking flower.
Right.
If you shrunk that pod down really small, it almost looked like a cotton bowl. You know, with those little, the pieces that open up. There's actually a lot of fiber in the stem of the okra. You could actually harvest the fiber. You know, it's a fibrous type plant, just like cotton. We're getting the fibers from the
use.
all
from okra.
So hibiscus, if you've ever had roselle hibiscus, that rose tea, rose water, it's another hibiscus. And then hibiscus is very common. Confederate rose hibiscus is an old-fashioned landscape plant, all in the same family.
We've had hibiscus
family.
outside our house in Florida.
Yeah.
So it's not something we ever thought about eating. I have had hibiscus tea, and I know that, but I had no idea that those two things
But
were
you can
related.
start to see how plants are related to each other. And then if you've ever heard of the swamp hibiscus, or how about this one, marshmallow. Ever heard of that?
Nope.
Marshmallow? How about marshmallow?
No.
Don't know what a marshmallow is?
The marshmallow, the candy?
The confectionery, right. That all goes back to the marsh hibiscus or the mallow. And we've kind of, you know, the name has changed a little bit from marshmallow to marshmallow, but it's hearkening back to the mallow plant.
And that's what it was. And that's another relative to this okra.
Right.
But this okra, nobody's gonna get anywhere but right here.
That's it. This is our family okra
that you cater to, because this is the legendary Bradford okra. And this is a little
That's
bitty
a small
fella.
one. That's a small one.
But I have been on this farm and taken pods this long and snapped the end off of them, and they're just tender enough to do this with and not be anything but delight.
No splinters.